You have to wake up every day and just say, I'm going to be happy today. Look in the mirror and tell me 5 things that they like about themselves, their body now. Raise a family that is just in their own lane and they're different and they're just themselves. That's a success.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the Hot Flash Health Podcast, where we're dishing out unfiltered truths about menopause with a side of sass and a sprinkle of crass. Get ready to dive into the wild world of hot flashes, mood swings, and all the other joys of being a queenager. This ain't your grandma's podcast. We're here to chat about our bodies, our passions, our fears, and desires while navigating the roller coaster ride of menopause. Grab a glass of wine or 3. Kick back and let's ride this hot flash wave together. I'm Courtney Mamusha, and alongside me is my fabulous co-host, Dawn Fable. We're just 2 outspoken gals who aren't afraid to say it like it is. Now let's kick off today's episode with our amazingly fabulous guest. Dawn, why don't you go ahead and introduce her?
Today we have a very special guest who is anything but ordinary. Say hello to Kathy Chlan. No, just kidding. That is not her name. Her name is Kathy Chlan, the unfiltered lifestyle expert and author of the fabulous book, Maternally Challenged, which, girl, I am maternally challenged. Kathy is here to sprinkle a little bit of magic on our everyday life with her trademark of positivity and flair of fabulous. You might know her from her sparkling appearances on camera expert for New York Pics 11, or as the entertainment reporter with the Inside Scoop for This Is TV Network. With a personality that sparkles like champagne and a heart that dances to the beat of adventure, Kathy embodies a well-lived life. She's not just dishing out the latest trends, she's turning ordinary moments into extraordinary memories, inviting us all to join the ride. Her contributions have graced the pages of big names like Thrive Global, Huffington Post, and today's parents. Kath, you are a big deal. And she is rising the bar, and her son, mind you, with wisdom, humor, and that only a true Jersey girl can muster, all while soaking up the sun down at the Jersey Shore with her husband and son. So buckle up, because today we're diving into a whimsical world of fashion, travel, home decor, and all of the juicy goodness that make a life truly worth celebrating. Get ready to live your best life with Kathy as your guide. After all, life's too short for dull moments, so let's make it a party. Kathy, welcome.
Woo! Sounded so good. And Dawn, I'm impressed.
Well, you are truly a vibe. Let's dive in. Like, how do you manage to sparkle your face everywhere, into the dressing room, to whipping out delicious meals? Let's spill the tea on your secrets, girl.
Rest my mother's soul. It's because of her. She was always happy, and no matter what was going on in the world, her and my father always laughed, and she always said, you have to wake up every day and just say, I'm going to be happy today. You have to work at and choose happiness. And it was just, I think, that growing up period where we never knew, like, if they were going through bad times or not. Everything was fine. So that's how I wake up. I remember that when I was a little girl. You have to choose happiness.
So Kathy, it's good that you might be like shitting glitter on a daily basis.
Maybe.
Speaking of that, shitting glitter. Oh, maybe. Wouldn't that be if I went to the gastro doctor and said, excuse me, could you help me out? I'm shitting glitter. I don't know about that, but yeah, that is good, I guess. I laugh at myself a lot. I make fun of myself. I laugh at myself. I'm probably the only person that can make myself laugh. You know what I mean? My family looks at me and they're like, what is going on with her?
Hey, my family does the same thing with me. So I think if you stand out, that's a good thing in life, you know?
I know. Oh, I'm standing out.
How did you get into the
every
fashion
day.
world? And, like, how are you all of a sudden like, I want to speak out and share my excellence and my vibe with the world?
I really never thought I would, because I never thought I was that stylish, because I always shopped at thrift stores and TJ Maxx, Marshalls. I never shopped at the top end stores, they called, but I went to a hosting seminar one time in New York, and I had a really cute outfit on from TJ Maxx. Not a
But we're happy to
sponsored
take your money.
post here, but I'll take it.
Call
Email me,
call us.
here. Call me from the Jersey Shore. But the casting director said, "Do you have a website?" And I'm like, "No." It's like, "You should be showing stuff like this." So it kind of happened just by a whim, I guess. I was like, "Okay." So I started doing that, and then I would help friends. I would go to stores if they were going to a wedding. I'd help them pick out, a dress, or we'd go online. So it kind of was just like that. I wanted to be, guys, growing up, I wanted to be Mary Hart. Do you remember her? I'm probably aging
I do, but I'm
myself.
trying to think the
Do you remember
show.
her?
You are
Wasn't
Nancy
she?
O'Dell.
Oh yeah, there you go. I was like, what
Entertainment
show was she on?
Tonight.
Mary Hart, of course.
Yeah.
Mary Hart.
You
I
are
wanted to
way
be
cooler
her.
than Mary Hart. Way
I don't
cooler.
know about that, Dawn, but thanks.
And
So
P.S.,
that's how it started.
like all the millennials are totally shopping at
Yeah.
thrift stores. So you were way ahead of the game, years ago. Maybe.
And the thrift stores are
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
They're the best. You get all design. I have found so many designer outfits there. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So you never not think about
I keep on saying
store.
you get the max for the minimum at TJ Maxx, because that was like my store. My mom and I would go there, and I would, to have a friend who was like, look at my one dress I just spent $400 on. And I was like, look at my bed full of goodies. It was sort of like a.
But Courtney, that's a tip though. That I never did that. Here's a tip for you guys if you go shopping. If you have a pair of pants and you don't have a shirt that matches, do not go into those stores and just walk around in a circle. If you need a shirt, you just go to the shirt section and you buy the shirt, whatever you feel looks good, maybe 2 shirts, and you leave. If you need shoes, you just go to those certain areas, because those stores could totally overwhelm you. And then you leave with just mismatched stuff, and you come home and you're like, okay.
And you come home with all of this shit that you don't even need, right? Like, first of all,
you don't need.
You need a Xanax to go into those places, to even deal with like the lines. And second of all,
and a bottle.
Yeah, you come home with like, a new fan, and you come home with a dog
and
treat
body soap.
And totally.
Yes. And you never the right of you when you're waiting.
The impulse buy.
Because that's all that stuff that they try to get you, and it's like, are you? That's like in Target. Those the shopping carts, I feel like they're evil. I feel like they made them red on purpose. Because you walk in and you're feeling like, okay, and then the display, as soon as you come in, just tries to pull you in, and you're like, damn it. And you go, Target, it's hard. Target's hard for me sometimes. And hot flashes there. When I enter there, I've got ladies.
I love it.
Constantly.
I would, and my hair would cover it, but I love that. And then I would get that blowing effect. I would really be like,
oh, yes. But yeah, that's how you stay true to your shopping, and you don't have to come home and hear your husband say, Kathy, you're nickel and diamond me to death. And I'm always like, oh, shut up. I'll give you sex tonight.
I need to move to the Jersey Shore. That sounds super fun. Shut your trap.
Is that what thing does, Kathy? It's not a fan. It actually helps you in the bedroom. Like, it looks pretty interesting.
It does. It gets you.
There, honey. Look what I bought.
All around.
I will give you sex tonight because I bought it.
I have to tell this story. My husband's going to die. He walked in one night, and he looks at me, and he goes to put his thumb up, because that's his thing for, if you want to have a little romance, thumb up. And then he goes, He goes, "Oh, wait a minute. I'm taking it back." I'm like, "Why?" I was sweating.
Oh,
He was
he was
so
like,
turned off. He wanted to run out. I'm like, "Good, peace out. I'm watching TV."
Yeah.
Big
give me
Bang
an ice
Theory
pack.
is on
Bye.
and get out.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well, it's
these
good
are the
it was,
things,
it was
right?
good it was only the thumb up. Usually I have something else that's up that's
yeah,
like
totally.
poking me, you know?
He pre-warns you that
Hey,
morning in the back.
hey.
That happened. I would pee my pants if that happened. That's never happened, actually. He's got it all planned out.
Kathy, here at Hot Flash Health,
Yes.
we're all peeing in our pants on occasion. You know, sneezes are questionable. If I get a good tennis hit in my shitty 2.5 tennis team, I might pee in my pants a little bit, you know. So we're all in good company.
I
So,
do.
hey.
Well,
Well,
do you wear Depends, Dawn?
no, we do.
I do.
You do.
When
Depends
I
on the day.
know, like this, I am just TMI, ladies. I have a Halloween party on Friday night, and I know that I'm gonna laugh, so I come prepared. I am putting on those adult diapers, and they're very decorative now. They're not like
You have the underwear, right, with them in it, or like a poise pad. Like you're not putting on like a pair of diapers, are you? I mean, you're way too fashionable
Yeah.
for diapers, Kathy.
Okay, no, I'm not. But they look like underpants now. They're very stylish. They have flowers.
We'll have to do some
on them.
shopping.
Yeah, you should invest. Yeah, do
You
some
know,
shopping, Dawn. I'm telling you.
interestingly, note to self, Court and I recently had a woman on who started a company called Elitone. And it's a fascinating brand because it is a device that you put into your underwear and it does something like 600 kegels a minute or 10 minutes or something. And it decreases urinary incontinence by like,
But yes, it's amazing.
Yeah, send it to me.
of course, my very inappropriate and beautiful podcast host and friend is asking, you know, this poor woman, like, hey, can you move this? You know, what exactly electrical currents does it have? Can you move it like a little bit to the left?
Wondering.
And, you know, that gets
Asking for a
exciting
friend.
there. Asking for a friend.
That's a good. Exactly. And while you're cooking dinner for the kids, you know, you can give it a little swoosh, swoosh while you're stirring the pot.
Well, it certainly sounds like you are just rocking your confidence, especially wearing like grandma underpants for your parties. So how are you helping others strut their stuff and embrace their unique style? I mean, you've got a style of your own. Like Courtney said, you've got a vibe. But how
Thanks, guys.
are you helping others? Because this time in life is really confusing. We can't shop at Forever 21. We certainly don't want to shop at like J. Jill or Land's End.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
So like what do you do?
I think the first thing I do for somebody who I'm styling, I make them, this might sound a little quirky, I make them look in the mirror and tell me 5 things that they like about themselves, their body now. Not when you were 20, because no offense to anybody, everybody looks good in their 20s. From 15 to 28, every woman in the world looks beautiful. We could all be on a poster. You know what I'm saying? It's then life sets in, hormones set in, pregnancies, you gain weight, you lose weight. So I think the age of 40 is the age where most women are like, okay, this is it, this is me, and this is what God gave me, genetics, whatever. I mean, I have an identical twin sister who is this big. I'm not kidding. She's like a size 6. If she's that, she's been like that all her life. I'm not that girl, and that's okay. That's who I am. People used to say, oh, you're the fat twin, she's the skinny twin.
Why are people assholes?
I used to be like, yeah, and that's okay. I know, they are, but you know what? It didn't even, at that point, it was like, no. So that's what I do. I make them look at themselves, and then I make them write one mantra that when they wake up in the morning, they say in the mirror to themselves 5 times. I know that might sound a little quirky, And then make a list of their favorite colors, what kind of jean style, and then go to the store and we do it. And you have to love your body type. Your body, that's you. That's what makes everybody different. Like the Victoria's Secret show, I
I
don't know
watched it.
did you guys see it?
Yeah, they're great.
They were all
Finally,
different
for once.
shapes, right? I mean, no,
Yeah, for once.
exactly for once. I mean, Tyra Banks, God love her, she walked the end, and this isn't anything mean towards her, but her body shape
She's
is
changed.
different than when she was younger. Absolutely, she's changed. But you know what? She walked that runway and she stole it.
Confidence.
So you have to just love who you are and be okay with that. It's okay if you have a little stomach. I actually named my stomach Linda. I like Linda. Linda goes with me everywhere.
Linda
And when I'm
Schlong.
putting on clothes, I have to think about
You're like, Linda, are
Linda.
you hungry today? Me too.
Linda, would you like? Yeah. I mean, you just have to like yourself. That's really, and be okay with gray hair and bags under your eyes and all these creams that everybody like does. And all. Wrinkles are the
I'm a big believer
story
in
of
that. I
your
have not
life.
done Botox, anything. So I'm like, I love my wrinkles. I've earned them. I deserve them.
I did Botox once because I have 11s, but you know what? It didn't really help, and I'm okay with the 11s in the far. Funny story. I substitute teach, and one little kid in a self-contained classroom. Usually, they're usually on the spectrum or some other disability. So this one little boy looks at me and he goes, "Hey, there's a number on your forehead, and it's the number after 10." I'm like, "You're absolutely right."
Kids say the darndest things.
So my face helped with
Whatever you
his
can do to
math
help.
that day. So that's how I think about it. Love yourself.
You know, every day is such a gift, right? Especially as we're aging. You said something really interesting on one of your
What?
reels where I loved it. I loved your perspective. You were like, on this other side of life, on the back nine, so to speak, there's so much to look
Mm-hmm.
forward to. We can look forward to naps. We can look forward to wine. We can look forward to all these wonderful things. And I loved your attitude about it, you know, because as my sweet mom always says, she has several wonderful things that she says. She says, you know, live with a grateful heart. And she's the most beautiful human
Mm-hmm.
being. She also says, you know, honey, if you're looking for sympathy, you can find it in between shit and syphilis and dictionary. So there's that.
That is awesome.
Right. But, you know, again, it goes back to sort of your age is a number, act
Mm-hmm.
immature indefinitely, live with a
Yep.
grateful heart, love yourself, love what you have. Like so many important lessons that seem so simple, yet
Mm-hmm.
they're so
Yeah.
profound.
My mom used to say, "You're exactly where you're supposed to be at that time." Because I was always younger. I always had a game plan. I was going to have children, but the career was going to come first. I never really got that career. I'm still chasing that career. But I don't think I would ever change doing it this way because I wouldn't have the kids
Yeah.
that I have
Yeah.
probably. You know what I mean? And my younger son is incredible. He's 29 now, and the older one is 32, the special needs child. But it was incredible. I wouldn't
Yeah,
have
I think
changed
we all
that,
have
I don't
stories to
think.
tell in our lives. Take the path they're supposed to take.
Yep.
We're talking about confidence at any
Mhm.
age, and obviously this podcast is about us women becoming queenagers and coming into our own and hitting perimenopause and menopause, and
Mhm.
it's just another chapter of life, right? You know,
Yep.
you had been pretty open about some of your struggles and how you started taking
Mhm.
Lexapro, which I've taken too, but you started taking this right before menopause, and it really helped you kind of become and feel
Mhm.
more like yourself again. How did that really influence your
Absolutely.
confidence and decision making? And you find yourself taking more risks and creating a bucket list, sort of both career, personal.
Oh
Let's
my
talk a little bit
God,
about
yes.
the good drug Lexapro.
Oh, it's a godsend,
Yep.
people. I love it. But I always had a bucket list. I made a bucket list when I was 20 years old in one of my classes at Rutgers University. One of the professors made us, and I had it, but I never did anything on it. It was in my drawer always. Even when I got married and had my children, I would look at it sometimes and be like, oh, I get to it. When I started taking Lexapro, and this is, I give my husband a lot of credit. I had turned 40 and I was just like angry all the time. I was nervous, I was angry, I couldn't sleep. My husband called my gynecologist because he knew me since I was a little girl, and he told him what was going on. And years ago, you could do that. Now you can't do that. So my gynecologist called me up and said, Kathy, you missed your appointment. You have to come in. Oh my God. Okay. And I'm believing him because I'm a flake. I go there and he sits me down and he goes, okay, what the hell's going on? I go, what do you mean? I go, my husband called you. And he was like, yep. So I told him, and he goes, Kath, you have to go talk to somebody. Here's my friend. She's a great therapist. She will talk to you. I think you need something to take the edge off. And sure enough, after a week being on it, girls, it was like a light came and I just got everything. I started checking those things off my bucket list. I took acting classes, improv classes, hosting classes. I wrote a book. My husband and I traveled. I used to be afraid to get on a plane. I'd be like jumping off a cliff in Mexico with my younger son on a vacation. We zip lined in Hawaii. I mean, I would have never done stuff like that if it wasn't for that pill. And I know some people don't believe in that, but for me, it was something that I needed, and it just, my kids called it my happy pill. Don't forget to take your happy pill. I'll be like, okay. I mean, I don't know. I think it was great. It helped me through everything, and I don't think we should be ashamed of our mental illness or what. But if you can do something to help you, why not do it?
Yeah,
So,
sometimes I've been on and off antidepressants and anti-anxiety for
mhm,
years and been really vulnerable about my struggles with generalized anxiety disorder. And sometimes
mhm,
as I tell my, many girlfriends who are going through the same thing or whose kids are struggling with that sort of thing, I'm like, sometimes it's just bigger than you. And you
mhm,
just need a little bit of help to sort of reset your neurotransmitters and reset your
mhm.
brain functioning. So good
Yeah.
for you for, rocking the Lexapro and being so proud of that and sharing your story with other people, because I do think there's a tremendous stigma, around.
There is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There definitely is. And even though I did go through menopause early, even though everybody says you don't. I got my period late, but I went through early menopause. I was done at 48. But I'm 58, I still have hot flashes all the time. So I don't know. My mother, it
Oh,
never went
that's
away, her
not
hot
fun.
flashes. And my sister got nothing. I'm like, okay, listen, bitch.
You skinny bitch.
She got nothing. Exactly. When my mom was alive, I used to call her and be like, Mom, that skinny little bitch has gone through menopause without one hot flash. My mother's like, I know. It kills me too. Because my mother would sweat till she died. With the hot flashes too. I know she lived with us too, guys, for
No.
like 7 years. So it
Mm.
was
Lexapro.
fun here.
Oh,
Lexapro, and she was on it.
Good.
So
That's the only way your husband
she,
tolerated
was
it. He
good.
like kept his
Kat,
thumbs up. He was like, okay.
Exactly.
oh my gosh. Well, she would
Exactly.
be so proud of you.
Thank you.
You know, this is a big deal. You
Mhm.
are an author. Congratulations on your book, Maternally
Thank you.
Challenged.
Thank you.
And what a brilliant
Very
name.
easy read.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I think all of us are maternally challenged. What sparked
Yep.
that moment of sort of, I need to write this down?
I had it all written. Dawn. I had it all written. I had kept, because out of all of my friends, I was the first one to get married and the first one to have a baby. And the baby was my son, Casey, with all the props. So I had nobody to talk to. I kept a diary. And then when he was older, I looked at it and I'm like, wow, it's a very easy read book. It's only, I think, 150 pages, very easy. A lot of people from Special Olympics bought the book like for support groups. I self-published on Amazon, so that was very nice. I liked that. But it was just my diary, and I just took very short chapters and Casey, after I did it on the computer, he read it and he okayed what I said. And my younger son had 2 chapters in there because my younger son, we were in Philadelphia Children's Hospital living there because he had such bad feeding issues, and I was pregnant with Christian. I started going into labor. I did not want to give birth in Philadelphia by myself, so I drove myself from Philadelphia Children's Hospital down the New Jersey Turnpike to St. Peter's Hospital, met my husband, and my younger son came 8 weeks early. Had to stay in the hospital, so one was in Philly, one was in New Jersey, and I'm like, okay. 3 days, I was, got released. My husband stayed in St. Peter's. I drove to Philly, and we just kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Wow.
And Christian was in the hospital I did it for a month because he came home. But he came home on a heart monitor, and Casey was on a feeding tube. So it was like...
Where
and my
was the
friends would
freaking
come.
I know,
Lexapro back
right?
then?
Hello. What the hell was I thinking?
I
fucking
mean, I don't think it
drunk the
was
whole
highly
time.
talked about back then.
I
We're
mean-
talking, 20 years ago, and nobody was
It wasn't.
30. Yeah, mental
Oh
health.
my God,
but-
30, probably,
Yeah.
almost 30 years old. Mental health, it wasn't. And then I would load them, my husband and I would let him sleep because I would load both of them in the car because neither one of them slept. Drive around my town. I knew every police officer. I'd be waving, honking the horn. Then I'd get them back in the house, they'd sleep maybe 2 hours, and I'd be up all over again. Yeah, I was like, what was I thinking? Who said to have kids?
So in this book, I know it's your diary essentially, which is good for you for letting the public read your diary, so to speak. But what were some of the thoughts and topics and things that you discussed in the book?
Well, one chapter, this chapter, I don't know if I'm so proud about. It was about embracing the mistakes that you make as a mom. And this I felt, was such a monumental mistake that I did. Casey was 2, and I used to put him in front of, and he just learned how to walk at like 18 months. I would put him in front of the TV, and he would watch TV and would not move for like hours. So I'm like, what's going on here, right? Take him to the pediatrician. He's like, Kath, I think you need to go have his eyes checked. Go to Philadelphia. So went to Philadelphia, long story short, he was almost blind.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay. I let that go for like months. So we get his glasses. I'm in with the doctor because they do everything right there at CHOP. It's such a great hospital. They put his glasses on, and he looks around and he goes,
Oh.
like it was the first time he saw the world. The doctor and I busted out laughing, and I said to him, I don't think I'm going to get Mother of the Year this year.
Aww.
I thought about it, and he starts laughing. The doctor goes, I have seen worse. I'm like, really? So, because this one's pretty bad.
I wouldn't beat
that
yourself
was-
up. I think, we try the best we can as mothers. And how are you supposed to know that
wow.
he can't see? I mean, I remember my mom saying a funny story about my brother that he would, the same thing, go just sit and not move from the TV. And she was like, where is he going to the bathroom? And then found out he was like peeing behind the tree in our corner of the living room. I mean, because he was really... He's fine.
He watered the plants for your mother. He
Oh.
got a job.
No wonder the plant was dead.
Your mother. Yeah,
I think as
That's
mothers
pretty
and
funny.
women
That
going
is.
through life, there's so many curveballs that we get thrown, right? So
There is
It keeps us on our toes.
so
I'm sure
many.
you talk a lot about this in your book and how you're resonating with your personality
Yeah.
on TV and with your friends. But what's your go-to advice for handling these unexpected twists, and how can we learn to celebrate the little wins with the misery,
Right.
commiseration, badness?
Well, first off, you don't beat yourself up about it because you are going to mess up. Nobody is perfect. You're going to make mistakes. And I think that if you know that and you don't have, like, I've met so many parents, especially in the special education system of school, that they have such expectations. And I think even for kids that are in the Gen Pop and all, the pressure, just embrace what your kid is doing.
Yeah.
Because every child is different. Everybody's going to reach different milestones. Their personalities are different. And I had to let go of like the perfect family. You know what I mean? Like the Pinterest family. When that Pinterest came out and everybody, all the perfect, pictures and all, that was not me. I mean, that they were lucky if they had an outfit that was color coordinated. You know what I mean? I just had to let that go. And I remember Casey's first time taking him to therapy. We were in the room, me and my husband, and he was telling the therapist that he's not good at things and he wants to be perfect and he wants to, be able to do all these things. And me and my husband busted out laughing, and the doctor's looking at us going, what the hell? And me and my husband are like, Casey, are you new here? You do realize we're your mother and father. There's nothing perfect anywhere around us, not even your grandparents. You know what I mean? And he looked at us and he started laughing. And from that time on, he was like, I'll give it a try. He didn't put that expectation on himself. And I think you got to just let them get there at their own time. It's their story. It's their life journey, not yours. You're just, passenger next to them.
Well, it sounds
So
like
that's
he
what,
has
yeah.
incredible role models to sort of set the tone of that. I mean, that's amazing. And, it's so hard to do, especially these days with social media and the perfection. And I think
Yeah.
we as adults get really hung up and, oh my gosh, look at these people taking perfect vacations and their perfect curated home and their perfect, things. I get so frustrated as a parent when I'm at parent-teacher conferences and they're talking about scores and this and that. And I'm like, fuck all this noise. Like, are they happy? Are they kind? Are
respectful?
Yeah. Do they seem happy? Are they kind to other people? I mean, that's the most important thing. And I laugh about, these perfect families. We just recently got our family photos taken, and there's one with my oldest kid flipping everyone off. And I'm like, you know what? That is the one that's going to go in the living room.
That's the authentic one.
For real.
Absolutely.
That's real life. Like, yeah, our kids looked great because I made them brush our hair, and there were 5,000 arguments beforehand and crying and screaming, and my husband and I were fighting, and my little boy tripped my daughter, and I mean, and then you show up at family pictures and everyone's so happy. It's like, no.
But those are the best kind of pictures.
Yeah.
That shows a real family.
Yeah.
That shows a real family. That, I would blow that up and put it on the wall in your family room.
Oh, trust me, girl. I will send you a picture with that one.
You'll get the Christmas card.
I think that is so cool, though, because I really think that it's when you can raise a family that is just in their own lane and they're different and they're just themselves. That's a success, I think. All this stuff, like how much I'm at the point where, like, the 29-year-old, most of the parents, oh, what does your son do for a living? Oh, how much does he make? Where do they live? Oh, do they have IRA or whatever? They have retirement ready. I'm like, I don't know. He's happy and engaged. That's all I know.
Yeah.
That I can't even think like that.
You should start messing with people and just say he's a gigolo, doing super well.
Professional bird watcher. That was when I was single. I'd always say that to guys. Like, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a professional bird watcher. Oh, I did. Yeah.
No, you did not, Court.
Really?
And what
Like,
did they say back?
I love a blue jay.
And then she powered
I
back.
love a blue jay.
She powered back like a nice
Yeah.
glass of Cabernet with a shot of tequila, threw out like a couple of
Totally.
F-bombs, and they were like, "There is no way that this chick is a bird watcher."
Probably
I
not.
know. I don't
Probably
think they
not.
believed her, Dawn. They're probably like, this chick is messing with us. Where is she from? Jersey?
Oh, that's
That's
fun.
a
Then I
Jersey
told you I
move.
should be there.
Yeah.
You should be in Jersey.
Kathy
You don't take
Schlong,
any crap.
do you know Snooki?
I do not, but I did meet. I used to work at a hair salon, and when they were casting it, I met. Who's the guy? Paulie. The
Oh,
DJ guy is
yeah.
Paulie. Yes, yes. But some of them aren't all from New Jersey.
I'm sure.
You know that, right?
Yeah, TV.
So we get mad, and the Jersey Shore, because I live down the Jersey Shore. I live 3 towns away from where they filmed. So it's not really like what that was all staged. A lot of that was staged.
Well, the
new
show would
comic.
have been way better if they had you on it. So,
Well, the funny thing is, for 5 summers, when I was 19 to 24, 12 of us rented the same house down
Wow.
the shore every summer. We'd come after college. We'd get jobs down here.
Show in the making,
And
I'm
yeah,
sure.
we had a blast. It was so much fun.
that's awesome.
So we look at that show and we're like, been there, done that. You know,
Right.
like those girls.
And they're
They don't have any.
imposters. Speaking of
Yes.
imposters,
Oh,
imposter
good.
syndrome
I
is
hate it.
what we've all dealt with, right? I mean, it's
Mhm.
sort of like an unwanted guest at a party.
It is.
Seems like, Kathy, you would do an incredible job of kicking those imposter syndrome feelings to the curb. What advice do you have for other women who are struggling with imposter syndrome? Because I think at some point in our lives, we've all had it.
It's just, I hate it. I want to beat her up. But I think what you do is you go through it. You don't act like it's not there. Like with the date, sometimes for me, it happens real bad once a month. And I always notice it happens to me on a Monday. Like the beginning of a week, I'm like, I have a list of what to do, and I'm like, I can't pitch that brand. They're not gonna want me. Like, and I'm not good enough. And it's always on a frickin' Monday. So if that happens, I take that day and I might binge watch something on TV, or, I might just go for a walk or a bike ride. I don't beat myself up about it. I just get through it, let it happen, and let it take its course. Because sometimes I think if you fight it,
Yeah.
it stays there longer. You know what I mean? It just lingers for a while. But everybody goes through it. I mean, I'm sure the famous people go through it, and the ones who say they're most secure in everything. Especially women.
Yeah.
Every woman has imposter syndrome. Everybody. It's just part of our genetic makeup.
It is. I laugh at myself where I feel like I'm very confident, and then sometimes you're like, why didn't I get as many likes on social? And why wasn't I invited here? And why,
Right.
it's so crazy that I feel like I'm worse than my 14-year-old daughter, and then I'm trying to be a role model for her, and I'm like, I don't know why you feel that way.
Yeah.
I feel that way. Yeah, I'm totally crying. You've just had such a wonderful presence. You have such a powerful message about how you've gone through life. You're very vulnerable. I think we all need to learn from that. And especially your personal message of how not using disability as a crutch, right? You're trying to raise your son in this world and not feel like he needs to fall back on this. How do you weave that into your day-to-day life, and what other heartwarming or hilarious moments have you experienced along the way? Don't use anything as a crutch. Like, how do you approach things like that?
I think one day he came home from school, and he goes to college now. He can drive too, and he's actually there today. And he takes 2 classes a semester. And me and my husband are like, if he wants to stay in college for all his life, who cares? But he wanted to go into this cooking program, and he had to keep taking this math class to get into this cooking program. and he had to pass this math class, and he couldn't do it. He could not do it. And so we sat down one day, and my other son, Christian, was there, and we said to him, you know what, Case? You just got to let it go. He's like, but why? Why can't I do math? And I should be able to be, a good mathematician because I wanted to be an astronaut and go to space. So me and my husband were like looking around going, what the hell is he talking about? And my younger son goes, yeah. And I wanted to marry a supermodel. And where did that go? Nowhere. So get a grip, dude. Stack up, pull your big boy pants on, and do something else. And he did. And it took him 9 tries to get his license to pass the written test, and he did it.
Aww.
And we just kept saying, you want a license? You got to do it. No special treatment. He got longer to take the test, longer time, but he still had to take the same written test
amazing.
you took, I took, whatever. And
That's
he did.
great.
He got through it 9 times.
Perseverance.
So, yeah, I mean, perseverance. That's the message. Persevere for everybody. Hopefully things will pay off.
That's amazing.
Cross your fingers, your boobs, your legs, everything, girls, for perseverance.
Kathy, you have been such a breath of fresh air on the Hot Flash Health
thanks,
podcast.
girls.
We're
My hot chicks.
Oh gosh. Well, wrapping it up, what are the top 3 tips for looking yourself, feeling fabulous like you are, and tackling life with a smile? And how can more people find ways to laugh at themselves or just wake up happy? Like, how do we have more Kathy in us?
All right, wake up happy. You stand in front of the mirror and say a mantra 5 times
every
to
morning
yourself in the mirror while you're putting on your makeup. All I wear every day is blush and lipstick. My mother always said, you put on a little lip gloss or lipstick and little pink cheeks and you feel awesome. Everybody should do that. You'll feel totally different, even if you're staying home in your pajamas. Put on a little lip gloss, pink cheeks, say the mantra, and you're good. Styling tips, you have to write down what colors you like. And when you go shopping, don't go in there looking for 20 pieces. You go in there looking for 1 to 2 pieces, and you'll be good. And wear things that spark joy, like that woman, what's her name? Maria, whatever her name said.
I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember her name. I remember that saying.
Spark joy.
How can people find you if they want to share a laugh with you?
Everything is Unfiltered Kathy. Facebook, Instagram, I'm even on that TikTok. I don't get TikTok.
You sound like us. I'm on that thing called TikTok.
I'm on that thing like TikTok.
Snappy chatty
whatever
thing.
it's called. Who the hell knows? Yeah. No, I'm not on Snapchat. If they come up with another freaking app, girls,
but they're going to. They're going to.
I'm done. I can't. I know.
We can't thank you enough, Kathy, for being on the podcast.
Oh, thanks, girls.
Such a blast. And I'm fingers, toes, boobies, everything crossed for the new opportunities for you in the future. All right. Well, everyone, that's a wrap on today's episode. Remember, menopause might be a wild ride, but together we've got this. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Sorry, I'm like trying to think of all the social media platforms. We're at Hot Flash Health. Stream us and subscribe to our podcast on YouTube and Spotify. And always feel free to share your thoughts with us. Or if you want to be a speaker on our podcast, come on down. Like the Price is Right. Until next time, stay sassy, fabulous, and keep those hot flashes in check. Thanks, everyone.